China's porn spam campaign fuels digital authoritarianism, experts. Beijing is aggressively expanding its digital authoritarianism by flooding social media with pornography to hide internal turmoil, say experts, a strategy that threatens global internet liberty and sets a dangerous precedent for other regimes, they warn. Nikita Beer, the head of product for X, said in a January 30 post that the Chinese government floods X search results with porn whenever there is political unrest, in a bid to block citizens from accessing live information. The remarks from the social media site's leadership emerged just days following the purge of two top-ranking Chinese generals, Zhang Youxia and Liu Zhenli. Beer also said the spam campaign originated from 5 million to 10 million accounts that had been created on the site before he suspended new user registrations. This has been a difficult problem to solve, but we are aware and working on it, he said. Masking the turmoil. Shen Mingxi, a research fellow at Taiwan's Institute for National Defense and Security Research, said this development demonstrates that the Chinese Communist Party is indeed facing severe political turmoil. Rumors escalate quickly in such a closed environment, so the regime has to resort to letting its cyber army post pornography as a diversion because it cannot leak other details to mask the political purge, Shen told the Epoch Times. Frank Tian-Xia, John M. Olin Palmetto Chair Professor in Business and Professor of Marketing at the University of South Carolina Aiken, said the massive scale of this spam operation suggests it's part of a recurring state-sanctioned maneuver designed to distract the public. This is actually a long-standing trick of the CCP, as the party orchestrated the Xinqiang case in the 1940s to drive a wedge between the Kuomintang and the U.S. military, Xia told the Epoch Times. Its true intent now is merely to mask what is happening in China, namely the power struggle between military heavyweights and the political leadership. Xia referred to the 1946 Xinqiang incident as a historical precedent for such deception, noting that the CCP incited nationwide student protests over a fabricated rape accusation involving American soldiers. This scheme was orchestrated by supporters of communism specifically to destabilize the then-ruling Kuomintang government in China. Xia said this also indicates Beijing is deeply worried that the public might rise up or organize political protests before the dust settles on the internal infighting within the People's Liberation Army. The authorities feel compelled to act because they fear voices supporting Zhang Youxia against Chinese President Xi Jinping's dictatorship, Xia said. Fueling global mistrust. Xia said that, given the thoroughness of China's domestic information blockade, this operation is clearly targeted at overseas observers, yet the tactic is backfiring by deepening the international community's mistrust of the regime. While ordinary citizens inside China may not see the full picture, Beijing is engaging in such brazen behavior on global social media due to the PLA infighting, which will only serve to trample upon whatever remaining trust the world has in the CCP, Xia said. Antonio Gracefo, a national security analyst and Epoch Times contributor, said this flagrant censorship tactic could finally compel voters to pressure leaders in countries that are still pursuing closer engagement with Beijing. Irrespective of how much China's quite obviously a danger, they're moving ahead with China. Maybe the public will get a little more vocal in Canada and Europe and prevent their government from going in deeper with China, Gracefo told the Epoch Times. Exporting censorship. Gracefo further warned of the potential scale of this digital authoritarianism, questioning whether the regime has embedded dormant agents across wider Western social media platforms, from Facebook to Instagram, waiting for a command to strike. There could be Chinese people that are digital sleeper cells as well that could be activated to spam porn or anything, Gracefo said. He said this is part of Beijing's broader strategy to manipulate the news cycle by fabricating inflammatory narratives to sow discord, since the regime cannot directly control the narrative on open platforms. That whole story may be put there by China and then amplified by Chinese accounts because it fits a certain narrative to make people angry, Gracefo said. According to Shen, China's digital authoritarianism naturally produces a chilling effect that discourages external criticism of its human rights issues while allowing the regime to aggressively penetrate the global information space. This approach acts as a tool to restrict information on internet freedom, divert focus from international news, or reshape China's image while specifically suppressing the speech of a minority of people, which has a major impact on global internet liberty, Shen said. Shen cautioned that the success of these suppression tactics creates a dangerous precedent that could encourage other regimes to adopt Beijing's technology. These methods allow Beijing to achieve its goal of attacking speech, which may lead other dictatorships or authoritarian states to emulate this model and accept CCP technology to form a detrimental trend, Shen said.